So when you find a knife that's got the perfect handle, it needs to be weighted. Henkel are the knives I use.
Again, it's the same old crap.
We can look forward to another season of patronising cooking videos.
The culinary world just witnessed what might be the most brutal takedown in cooking history. Gordon Ramsay, the man who's made grown chefs cry with a single glance, has finally watched Meghan Markle's latest kitchen catastrophe. And let me tell you, his reaction was absolutely savage. Picture this scene. Gordon sitting in his pristine London restaurant, probably reviewing menus for his next Michelin-starred venture, when someone shows him Meghan's pasta video. The same video where she licks her fingers mid-cook, waves jewelry over boiling water, and treats knife safety like it's optional.
It's funny you call me Sussex. You know I'm Her Royal Highness now. I wonder how the Parents Network feels about her having Chrissy Teigen on, who bullied a woman on Twitter, intimidated that she commit unalivement.
Sources close to the celebrity chef say his face went from confused to horrified to absolutely furious in about 10 seconds flat. Word is, Gordon couldn't even finish watching the entire thing. Allegedly, he paused the video multiple times, muttering things that would make a sailor blush. One insider claims he actually stood up from his chair and started pacing around the room, pointing at the screen like he was witnessing a crime against humanity. And honestly, after seeing Meghan's technique, can you blame him? This is the same Gordon Ramsay who spent decades perfecting his craft, who's trained under the most demanding chefs in the world, who's built an empire on the foundation of excellence and precision. Then along comes Meghan Markle, treating his beloved culinary world like it's some casual hobby she picked up last Tuesday. But here's where it gets really interesting.
I reckon there was a whole list of people who would not want to be associated with that dreadful woman, but I don't even know why they're bothering with season 2. Seriously, season 1 was such a flop. Here we go again.
Rumors are swirling that Gordon didn't just keep his thoughts to himself. Sources suggest he's been sharing his unfiltered opinions with fellow chefs, food critics, and pretty much anyone who will listen. The professional cooking community is apparently buzzing with his commentary, and none of it is flattering. What really set him off, according to these whispers, wasn't just the poor technique, it was the audacity. Here's someone with zero professional training, no culinary education, no restaurant experience, presenting herself as some kind of lifestyle guru. Meanwhile, real chefs are grinding it out in professional kitchens, following strict safety protocols, and earning their stripes through years of dedication. The timing couldn't be worse for Meghan either. She's trying to launch this whole domestic goddess persona, positioning herself as the ultimate home entertainer. But when one of the world's most respected chefs allegedly tears apart your cooking skills, that carefully crafted image starts crumbling faster than an overcooked souffle.
Could that potentially negatively affect her pursuits going forward? Because people are going to be like, well, good Lord, in Variety, she was talking shit about the first production crew that worked on the Harry and Meghan documentary.
Industry insiders are saying Gordon's reaction represents something bigger than just one bad cooking video. It's about authenticity, about respect for the craft, about the difference between real skill and manufactured celebrity. When someone who's dedicated their entire life to culinary excellence watches an amateur fumble through basic techniques while promoting products, well, that's when the gloves come off. But this explosive reaction from Gordon Ramsay is just the tip of the iceberg, because once he started dissecting Meghan's technique, the real horror show began. Let's talk about what allegedly made Gordon Ramsay's blood pressure skyrocket. The knife work. Sources say the moment Meghan grabbed that blade, Gordon's professional instincts went into overdrive, and not in a good way. Picture Gordon watching as Meghan holds the knife like she's about to perform surgery with a butter spreader. Her grip, her posture, her technique, everything about it screams amateur hour.
With little fanfare, drew muted interest, and Meghan even turned off Instagram comments.
Word is, Gordon actually winced when he saw her hacking away at those onions. No rocking motion, no proper finger positioning, just pure chaos with a sharp object. One culinary insider claims Gordon was muttering things like, "That's not how you hold a bloody knife, and she's gonna lose a finger." And honestly, after seeing the footage, you'd have to agree, Meghan's treating that blade like it's a toy, swinging it around with the confidence of someone who's clearly never worked in a professional kitchen. But here's what really got under Gordon's skin: the complete disregard for basic safety principles that every cooking school teaches on day one. Your fingers should be curved, knuckles forward, creating a guide for the blade. Meghan? She's got her fingers spread out like she's playing piano, just begging for an accident to happen.
She saw this as her comeback moment. I mean, really? Is she that dumb?
Rumors suggest Gordon couldn't stop talking about her cutting board technique either. Apparently, he was explaining to anyone who'd listen how Meghan's board wasn't even properly secured. No damp towel underneath, no stability, just sliding around like it's on an ice rink. That's cooking safety 101. but Meghan's treating it like an optional suggestion. The garlic situation allegedly sent Gordon over the edge. Sources say he watched in horror as Meghan tried to mince garlic with the grace of someone who'd never seen a clove before. No proper crushing, no rocking technique, just random chopping that left chunks everywhere. One insider claims Gordon actually said, "That's not minced garlic, that's garlic abuse." What really stung, according to these reports, was watching someone with such a massive platform demonstrate such dangerous technique to millions of viewers.
Same, that posse of pathetic sycophants.
She'll
They're going,
say-
oh, look, amazing, look.
It's
Look,
embarrassing.
Look, she's made a salad.
Gordon's built his entire career on teaching proper methods, drilling safety into his students, making sure people understand the craft. Then Meghan comes along, showing people exactly how not to handle a knife. Industry whispers suggest Gordon was particularly frustrated because he knows home cooks watch these celebrity cooking videos and try to copy what they see. When someone with Meghan's influence demonstrates such poor knife skills, it's not just embarrassing, it's potentially dangerous for anyone trying to follow along. The technique breakdown didn't stop at knives though. Sources say Gordon's critique extended to every single aspect of Meghan's cooking process, from her ingredient prep to her complete lack of mise en place. Apparently, he couldn't believe someone would start cooking without having everything properly organized and ready to go. But the knife work was just the beginning of Gordon's alleged horror show, because when he started focusing on Meghan's hygiene practices, that's when things got really ugly.
Because they pocketed all the money. Like, I mean, this is kind of an obvious thing, but the reality here is, yeah, they had this multi-look first deal, right?
Here's where Gordon Ramsay allegedly went from frustrated to absolutely disgusted. The hygiene violations. Sources say the moment Meghan licked her fingers and then grabbed that knife, Gordon practically jumped out of his chair. And honestly, after building a career on kitchen cleanliness and food safety, can you blame him? Picture Gordon's face as he watches Meghan casually lick her fingers mid-cooking, then immediately handle the knife blade like she's seasoning it with her saliva. Industry insiders claim he was practically shouting at the screen, asking how someone could be so careless with basic food safety. This is the same man who shut down restaurants for far less serious violations. Word on the street is that Gordon couldn't stop talking about cross-contamination. Here's Meghan, touching her face, running her hands through her hair, then diving straight back into the food prep without washing her hands. Sources suggest Gordon was explaining to anyone who'd listen how this kind of behavior would get someone kicked out of any professional kitchen within minutes. But it gets worse.
Wait a minute. It's not quite as lucrative as that. In fact, the jury is out on whether or not the gruesome twosome's new relationship with the streaming giant is worth very much at all.
Rumors are flying that what really sent Gordon over the edge was watching Meghan stick her bare hands directly into that preserved lemon jar. No gloves, no utensils, just fingers that had been touching everything from her hair to the countertops, now contaminating what she's trying to pass off as gourmet ingredients. One culinary professional claims Gordon was particularly horrified by the hair situation. Meghan's got her hair hanging loose, practically dangling over the skillet while she cooks. In any professional kitchen, that's an immediate health code violation. Hairnets, caps, or at minimum tying it back securely. That's basic food service training that apparently nobody shared with Meghan. Sources close to the celebrity chef say he was ranting about how this kind of behavior gives home cooks the wrong impression about kitchen hygiene. When someone with Meghan's platform demonstrates such poor food safety practices, it normalizes behavior that could actually make people sick. Gordon spent years teaching proper sanitation, and here's Meghan undoing all that education in one video.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan, we love the documentary. It did really well, but nothing else has really worked. Where'd all the money go?
Industry whispers suggest Gordon was particularly frustrated because he knows the difference between rustic home cooking and just plain unsanitary practices. You can have a casual, comfortable kitchen style without completely abandoning basic cleanliness standards, but Meghan seems to think authenticity means throwing food safety out the window. The jewelry situation allegedly made Gordon's eye twitch. Rings, bracelets, watches, all dangling over the food like a contamination obstacle course. Any professional chef knows that jewelry harbors bacteria, can fall into food, and creates countless opportunities for accidents. But Meghan's treating her kitchen like a fashion runway instead of a place where food safety matters. What really got under Gordon's skin, according to these reports, was the casual attitude toward it all. This isn't someone who doesn't know better. This is someone who's choosing to ignore basic hygiene principles for the sake of looking effortless and relatable. But there's nothing relatable about potentially dangerous food handling. Sources say Gordon couldn't stop pointing out how Meghan never once washed her hands during the entire cooking process. Not after touching raw ingredients, not after handling her hair, not even after licking her fingers. In professional kitchens, hand washing is so frequent it becomes second nature, but Meghan treats it like it's optional.
In case you guys get divorced, we may want to do that because, yeah, more and more signs are proving that that's probably going to happen.
The preserved lemon jar became a particular point of fury for Gordon. Allegedly, here's this woman trying to promote premium ingredients, talking about homemade this and artisanal that, while literally contaminating the product with her unwashed hands. It's the kind of behavior that would shut down a restaurant faster than you can say health inspector. But Gordon's hygiene horror show was just getting started, because when he turned his attention to all that jewelry swinging over the food, that's when the real safety concerns began. The jewelry situation allegedly pushed Gordon Ramsay into full-blown chef mode. Sources say he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Rings, bracelets, a watch, all dangling precariously over boiling pasta water and sizzling skillets like some kind of kitchen obstacle course from hell. Word is, Gordon started explaining to everyone around him exactly why jewelry in the kitchen isn't just unprofessional, it's genuinely dangerous. Picture him pointing at the screen, breaking down how that bracelet could catch on a pot handle, how those rings could slip off into the food, how that watch could get caught in kitchen equipment. This is Safety 101 that Meghan apparently never learned. Industry insiders claim Gordon was particularly frustrated because he's seen what happens when jewelry meets hot oil or boiling water. Burns, accidents, contaminated food, injuries that could have been completely avoided with basic kitchen awareness. But Meghan's treating her cooking video like a jewelry commercial, showing off her bling while completely ignoring the risks. But here's where it gets really interesting.
The king and queen of California's luxury lifestyle is staggeringly expensive.
Food safety experts are reportedly backing up Gordon's concerns, and they're not holding back. Professional kitchen consultants are allegedly saying that Meghan's jewelry display represents everything wrong with celebrity cooking culture. It's all about the image, nothing about the actual craft or safety. Sources suggest that certified food safety instructors have been sharing the video as an example of what not to do. Every piece of jewelry Meghan's wearing violates basic food service protocols. Rings trap bacteria, bracelets can contaminate surfaces, watches collect grease and food particles. It's a hygiene nightmare wrapped in expensive accessories. One food safety expert allegedly pointed out that Meghan's rings alone could harbor enough bacteria to make someone seriously ill. Those little crevices and settings are perfect breeding grounds for harmful microorganisms, especially when you're handling raw ingredients and then cooked food with the same unwashed hands. The bracelet situation has reportedly drawn particular criticism from professional chefs. Sources say kitchen veterans are pointing out how easily that jewelry could catch fire, get caught in equipment, or end up in someone's dinner. In professional kitchens, even wedding rings are often prohibited for safety reasons, but Meghan's wearing enough metal to set off a security detector.
Meghan got a new deal is down to the fact that they already have pocketed the money, so they have to continue working until they've completed their obligations and produced more content.
Industry whispers suggest that Gordon's reaction represents a broader frustration in the professional cooking community. Here's someone with massive influence showing millions of viewers that kitchen safety rules don't apply if you're famous enough. It's sending exactly the wrong message to home cooks who might think this behavior is acceptable. What's allegedly really bothering food safety professionals is the normalization of dangerous practices. When celebrities treat basic safety protocols like they're optional suggestions, it creates a culture where people think proper kitchen hygiene is just for restaurants. But bacteria doesn't care if you're cooking at home or in a commercial kitchen. Sources close to the situation say Gordon's been explaining how jewelry removal is literally the first thing taught in any serious cooking program. Before you even touch ingredients, before you turn on equipment, you remove anything that could cause contamination or injury. It's so fundamental that most professional chefs do it automatically. The watch situation allegedly made Gordon particularly angry because timepieces are notorious for harboring germs and getting splashed with food particles. Any chef knows you either wear nothing on your wrists or use a simple, easily cleanable timer. But Meghan's sporting what looks like expensive jewelry while handling food like hygiene rules don't exist. Food safety instructors are reportedly using Meghan's video as a teaching tool, but not in the way she probably intended. It's become an example of how not to approach kitchen safety, a compilation of violations that would earn failing grades in any culinary program. But the jewelry controversy was just the beginning of what allegedly set Gordon off. Because when he started analyzing those preserved lemons in the upcoming product launch, that's when the real business drama began. Here's where Gordon Ramsay allegedly went from food safety critic to business skeptic. Sources say the moment Meghan started promoting those homemade preserved lemons with that cryptic "so much goodness is coming soon" caption, Gordon's entrepreneur instincts kicked in. And apparently he wasn't impressed.
You want us to sue you? You want us to come after the money? We're gonna need a breakdown of all that. Yeah, we're just gonna do some more specials and keep you on a first look deal in case you guys get divorced.
Word is, Gordon immediately recognized what he was watching. This wasn't just a cooking video, it was a product launch setup. Industry insiders claim he was explaining to everyone around him how Meghan's preserved lemon obsession was clearly building towards some kind of commercial venture. The question is, does she actually know how to make them properly? Picture Gordon's reaction when he realized Meghan was treating preserved lemons like some kind of exotic discovery. This is a man who's worked with Mediterranean ingredients for decades, who's trained in French cuisine where preserved lemons are standard pantry items. But Meghan's acting like she's invented fire, when she's really just discovered something that's been around for centuries. Sources suggest Gordon was particularly skeptical about the quality of Meghan's preserved lemons. Real preservation requires precise salt ratios, proper fermentation time, and sterile conditions. But watching Meghan handle them with unwashed hands, contaminating the jar with every touch, allegedly made Gordon question whether she understands the actual preservation process at all. One culinary expert claims Gordon was ranting about how authentic preserved lemons take weeks to develop properly, requiring specific techniques passed down through generations of Mediterranean and North African cooking. But Meghan's treating them like a weekend craft project, something you can whip up for your lifestyle brand without understanding the cultural significance or proper methodology. Industry whispers suggest that Gordon's biggest concern wasn't just the technique, but the potential food safety issues of selling improperly preserved products. If Meghan's planning to commercialize these lemons, sources say Gordon was questioning whether she understands the legal requirements, the health department regulations, the liability issues involved in selling preserved foods. But here's what allegedly really got under Gordon's skin: the pricing implications. Sources close to the celebrity chef say he was speculating about how much Meghan would charge for something that cost pennies to make properly. Premium preserved lemons from established producers run about $10 to $15 a jar, but celebrity markup could push Meghan's version into luxury territory. Word on the street is that Gordon was explaining how authentic preserved lemon production requires specific expertise, traditional methods, and genuine understanding of the fermentation process. But Meghan's approach allegedly looked more like Pinterest craft hour than serious food production. The difference between artisanal and amateur. Sources say Gordon kept emphasizing. One food industry insider claims Gordon was particularly frustrated because preserved lemons represent centuries of culinary tradition.
That was already in the can beforehand. It's not like she's come out and said, oh, actually, we've been filming this the whole time you've said that my contract's cancelled. Not true.
These aren't just trendy ingredients you can appropriate for your lifestyle brand. They're deeply rooted in specific cooking cultures that deserve respect and proper representation. But Meghan's treating them like another product opportunity. "The goodness is coming soon" caption allegedly made Gordon roll his eyes. Sources suggest he was pointing out how that kind of vague marketing speak is exactly what serious chefs avoid. Real food professionals talk about technique, tradition, quality, flavor profiles, but Meghan's using generic lifestyle brand language that says nothing about the actual product. Industry rumors suggest Gordon was questioning whether Meghan's preserved lemons would even be shelf-stable if produced commercially. Proper preservation requires controlled environments, quality testing, and safety protocols that go way beyond what most people can achieve in home kitchens. But sources say Gordon doubted Meghan understood these complexities. What really bothered Gordon, according to these reports, was the potential disrespect to authentic producers. Mediterranean and North African families have been perfecting preserved lemon techniques for generations, selling quality products at fair prices. But celebrity brands often undercut traditional producers while offering inferior products at premium prices. The timing of the product tease allegedly struck Gordon as calculated. Sources say he was explaining how the cooking video was clearly designed to create demand for whatever preserved lemon product Meghan's planning to launch. But building a brand on questionable technique and poor food safety practices seemed like a recipe for disaster. But Gordon's business concerns about the preserved lemons were just warming up, because when he started comparing Meghan's performance to actual cooking shows, that's when the professional critique got really brutal. This is where Gordon Ramsay allegedly unleashed his most savage commentary. Sources say he started comparing Meghan's cooking video to the amateur contestants on his own shows, and the comparison wasn't flattering. Not even close. Word is, Gordon was explaining to everyone around him how even the worst contestants on Hell's Kitchen demonstrate better basic technique than what he witnessed in Meghan's pasta disaster. These are people with no professional training, cooking under extreme pressure, and they still manage to hold a knife properly and maintain basic hygiene standards.
Oh, look, I put some string around some biscuits, and oh, look, I'm crumbling cheese. And us all going, oh, wow, that's amazing. It's the second coming.
Industry insiders claim Gordon was particularly struck by the contrast between Meghan's confidence and her actual skill level. On his shows, amateur cooks at least acknowledge when they're struggling, when they're learning, when they need guidance. but Meghan's presenting herself as some kind of cooking authority while demonstrating technique that wouldn't pass muster in a high school home economics class. Picture Gordon's reaction when he realized that contestants on MasterChef Junior, literal children, show more respect for kitchen safety and proper technique than Meghan displayed in her video. Sources suggest he was pointing out how 12-year-old kids understand not to wear jewelry while cooking, not to contaminate ingredients with unwashed hands, not to treat sharp knives like toys. One production insider allegedly heard Gordon saying that Meghan's performance was worse than some of the most memorable disasters on Kitchen Nightmares. At least those restaurant owners usually acknowledged their problems when confronted with the evidence. But Meghan's doubling down on this domestic goddess persona while demonstrating skills that would get her eliminated in the first round of any cooking competition. Sources close to the celebrity chef say he was explaining how even the most arrogant contestants on his shows eventually learn to listen, to improve, to respect the craft. But Meghan's treating cooking like it's just another photo opportunity, another chance to promote products, another way to build her lifestyle brand without actually developing any real expertise. Industry whispers suggest Gordon was particularly frustrated because he spent years elevating home cooking standards through his shows, teaching people that food preparation deserves respect, that technique matters, that safety isn't optional. Then along comes Meghan, undoing all that education with one careless video. Word on the street is that Gordon was comparing Meghan's knife skills to contestants who get sent home early for safety violations. The difference is, those people are usually nervous, overwhelmed, making mistakes under pressure. Meghan's in her own kitchen, presumably relaxed and prepared, yet demonstrating even worse technique than stressed-out competition participants. One culinary professional claims Gordon was explaining how reality show contestants at least receive basic safety briefings before they're allowed near equipment. They're taught proper knife grip, reminded about hygiene protocols, supervised by professional chefs. But Meghan's operating without any of that guidance, and it shows in every frame of her video.
So, brilliant! Another 5-year contract worth $100 million, yeah? Oh, no.
The acting element allegedly made Gordon cringe even harder. Sources suggest he was pointing out how cooking show contestants might be nervous or awkward, but they're genuinely trying to cook. Meghan's performance felt forced, theatrical, like she was playing a character rather than actually preparing food. Every gesture seemed calculated for camera appeal, rather than cooking efficiency. Industry insiders claim Gordon was particularly bothered by the waste of opportunity. Here's someone with massive platform reach, millions of followers who could benefit from proper cooking education. Instead of using that influence to teach correct technique and safety practices, Meghan's normalizing dangerous habits and poor methodology. Sources say Gordon kept coming back to the fundamental difference between his show participants and Meghan's approach. Competition contestants are there to learn, to grow, to challenge themselves. They respect the judges, the craft, the learning process. But Meghan seems to think celebrity status exempts her from basic competency standards. What really got under Gordon's skin, according to these reports, was the missed educational opportunity. His shows succeed because they teach viewers alongside the contestants.
Meghan is a massive scam artist. First of all, that season was filmed alongside season 1.
People learn proper technique, understand why certain methods matter, see the consequences of poor execution, but Meghan's video teaches all the wrong lessons. But Gordon's brutal comparisons to cooking show amateurs were just the beginning, because when Italian chefs started weighing in on Meghan's pasta preparation, that's when the cultural criticism reached a whole new level. Here's where the pasta controversy allegedly went international. Word is spreading that authentic Italian chefs have seen Meghan's video, and their reactions are making Gordon Ramsay look diplomatic by comparison. Sources say these culinary masters are absolutely appalled by what they witnessed. Picture this scene. Traditional Italian nanas, women who've been making pasta for 70 years, watching Meghan drown perfectly good spaghetti in what looks like half a bottle of olive oil. Industry insiders claim these grandmothers were literally shaking their heads in disbelief, muttering things in Italian that probably shouldn't be translated. Word from culinary circles is that established Italian chefs are calling Meghan's technique a complete bastardization of their cultural heritage.
So it's a very artificially curated second season. She's got Jay Shetty, who's a disgraced guru. She's got Tan France, who's on Queer Eye.
This isn't just bad cooking, sources suggest they're saying. It's disrespectful to generations of Italian families who've perfected these simple but precise methods over centuries. One Italian chef reportedly watched the video and immediately started explaining everything Meghan did wrong. No pasta water reserved for the sauce, no proper emulsification technique, no understanding of how oil and starch should work together, just random ingredients thrown together and called Italian cuisine. Sources close to authentic Italian restaurants are saying their chefs can't believe someone would present such amateur technique while claiming to make proper pasta. These are people who understand that simplicity in Italian cooking requires perfect execution, not careless improvisation. Every ingredient matters, every step has purpose, every technique serves the final dish. Industry whispers suggest that Italian culinary professionals are particularly offended by the olive oil tsunami. In traditional Italian cooking, olive oil is used strategically, purposefully, respectfully, but Meghan's treating it like a sauce base, drowning the pasta instead of creating the delicate emulsion that proper technique requires. Word on the street is that authentic Italian chefs were questioning whether Meghan understands that pasta water isn't just cooking liquid, it's a crucial ingredient. That starchy, salted water is what binds the sauce to the noodles, creates the proper consistency, makes the dish cohesive. But Meghan apparently skipped that fundamental lesson entirely. One pasta specialist allegedly pointed out that Meghan's portion control violates every principle of Italian dining culture. Traditional servings are carefully measured, balanced with other courses, designed to satisfy without overwhelming. But Meghan's creating this massive single bowl-like pasta is supposed to be consumed American style, in huge quantities.
The swathe of guests that she's had on are all people who have Netflix shows already on the platform and have actually invited themselves then onto the show.
Sources suggest that Italian chefs are also horrified by the complete absence of technique in Meghan's sauce preparation. Real Italian cooking involves timing, temperature control, gradual incorporation of ingredients. But Meghan's just tossing everything together and hoping chemistry will somehow create flavor without understanding the science behind it. Industry insiders claim that traditional Italian cooking instructors are using Meghan's video as an example of how not to approach their cuisine. It represents everything they fight against, the Americanization and commercialization of authentic recipes that have cultural significance beyond just being trendy ingredients. What's allegedly really bothering Italian culinary professionals is the casual disrespect for pasta as an art form. This isn't just throwing noodles in boiling water. It's a craft that requires understanding starch behavior, sauce consistency, flavor balance, presentation aesthetics, but Meghan's treating it like a college dorm room meal. Word from authentic Italian establishments is that their chefs can't understand how someone can be so confident while demonstrating such poor understanding of basic pasta principles. The twirling technique alone, sources say, made several Italian cooks physically uncomfortable watching someone handle spaghetti like it's string cheese. One Italian culinary expert reportedly explained that Meghan's approach violates the fundamental Italian cooking philosophy of letting high-quality ingredients speak for themselves through proper technique. Instead, she's masking potential flavor with excessive oil and treating the pasta like a vehicle for showing off rather than appreciating the craft. Sources suggest that Italian chefs are particularly frustrated because pasta is often the first thing people think of when they imagine Italian cooking, but it's also one of the most commonly butchered dishes by amateur cooks. Meghan's video allegedly represents everything they try to educate people against. But the Italian chef criticism was just adding fuel to an already blazing fire. Because when Gordon allegedly started focusing on Meghan's shameless product placement, that's when the business ethics questions really heated up. This is where Gordon Ramsay allegedly shifted from culinary critic to business skeptic. Sources say the moment he noticed Meghan sipping her own rosé while cooking, his entrepreneur radar went into overdrive, and apparently he wasn't impressed by what he saw.
Harry's family can't stand him and don't talk to him anymore. No one talks to him because they don't trust him anymore.
Word is, Gordon immediately recognized the calculated nature of that wine placement. Here's someone supposedly sharing an intimate cooking moment, but she's strategically positioned her own product label facing the camera like a billboard advertisement. Industry insiders claim Gordon was explaining how authentic cooking content focuses on the food, not on pushing merchandise. Picture Gordon's reaction when he realized this wasn't just casual cooking, it was a carefully orchestrated marketing campaign disguised as lifestyle content. Sources suggest he was pointing out how every element of the video seemed designed to promote something, from the preserved lemons to the wine to the upcoming product launches. One business insider allegedly heard Gordon questioning the ethics of mixing cooking education with product sales without clear disclosure. When celebrity chefs promote products on cooking shows, there are usually obvious sponsorship acknowledgements, but Meghan's blending commercial interests with supposed authentic content in ways that allegedly made Gordon uncomfortable. Industry whispers suggest Gordon was particularly bothered by the wine pairing choice. Professional chefs choose beverages that complement the dish, enhance the dining experience, contribute to the overall flavor profile, but Meghan's rosé selection seemed driven entirely by brand promotion rather than culinary logic. Pasta with preserved lemons doesn't exactly scream pink wine pairing. Sources close to the celebrity chef say he was explaining how legitimate cooking content maintains clear boundaries between education and advertisement. When Gordon features products in his content, viewers know it's a partnership, but Meghan's approach allegedly blurs those lines in ways that could mislead audiences about her motivations. Word on the street is that Gordon was questioning whether Meghan's cooking videos are genuine lifestyle content or elaborate product commercials. The difference matters, sources suggest he was saying, because audiences deserve to know when they're being sold to versus when they're being educated or entertained. One media professional claims Gordon was pointing out how Meghan's product placement strategy undermines the authenticity she's trying to project.
Losing $20 million a year is the last thing they need.
Viewers want genuine cooking inspiration, real technique guidance, honest ingredient recommendations. But when everything becomes a sales opportunity, sources say Gordon was arguing the content loses credibility. Industry insiders suggest Gordon was particularly frustrated by the timing of the wine appearance. Mid-cooking alcohol consumption sends the wrong message about kitchen safety and professionalism. Real chefs might enjoy wine with their finished meals, but they don't typically drink while handling sharp knives and hot equipment. Sources report that Gordon was explaining how successful celebrity chefs build their brands on expertise first, products second. People trust cooking personalities because of their skills, their knowledge, their teaching ability. But Meghan seems to be reversing that formula, using celebrity status to sell products without establishing culinary credibility first. What allegedly really bothered Gordon was the missed opportunity for genuine content. Instead of teaching proper wine pairing principles, explaining flavor complementarity, or educating viewers about beverage selection, Meghan just grabbed her own product and called it a day. Sources suggest Gordon saw this as lazy content creation driven by commercial interests rather than educational value. Word from industry professionals is that Gordon was questioning whether Meghan's audience realizes they're watching advertisement content disguised as cooking instruction. The line between entertainment and marketing has allegedly become so blurred that viewers might not understand the commercial motivations behind her ingredient choices.
So this idea of the family Christmas, really hypocritical, but mainly looking at those.
One culinary business expert reportedly heard Gordon explaining how authentic cooking personalities earn product endorsement opportunities through demonstrated expertise and audience trust. But Meghan's approach seems to skip the credibility building phase and jump straight to monetization without establishing the foundation that justifies premium pricing. Sources suggest Gordon was particularly concerned about the impact on genuine culinary education. When cooking content becomes primarily about selling products rather than teaching techniques, audiences lose access to real learning opportunities. The focus shifts from skill development to consumption, allegedly making Gordon question the long-term effects on food culture. But Gordon's critique of the product placement strategy was just scratching the surface. Because when behind-the-scenes whispers started revealing the real purpose of Meghan's cooking videos, that's when the business strategy questions got really interesting. Here's where the real tea gets spilled. Industry insiders are allegedly whispering that Meghan's cooking disasters aren't accidents at all. They're calculated content designed to generate exactly this kind of buzz, this kind of controversy, this kind of engagement that keeps her brand in the spotlight. Sources close to celebrity marketing strategists suggest that controversy drives clicks, and clicks drive sales. Whether people are praising or criticizing Meghan's cooking technique, they're still watching, still talking, still engaging with her content. And in the attention economy, allegedly, that's exactly the point. Word on the street is that Gordon's explosive reaction might be playing right into Meghan's hands. Every professional chef who critiques her technique, every food safety expert who points out violations, every Italian nonna who shakes her head in dismay, they're all generating free publicity for whatever products she's about to launch. One marketing insider claims the cooking videos serve multiple strategic purposes. They position Meghan as relatable and authentic. They create demand for her upcoming lifestyle products, and they generate enough controversy to keep her relevant in entertainment news cycles. Whether the technique is good or bad becomes irrelevant if the business strategy succeeds. Industry whispers suggest that Meghan's team might actually be counting on professional criticism. When established chefs like Gordon react strongly to her content, it creates a David versus Goliath narrative that could make her more sympathetic to audiences who see her as being attacked by elite food establishment figures. Sources report that Gordon allegedly started questioning whether he was being manipulated into providing exactly the kind of high-profile reaction that Meghan's marketing strategy requires. Celebrity feuds, professional criticism, viral controversy.
Did you guys spend all that money? We're hoping, you could actually deliver. Do you want to continue?
They all serve the same purpose of keeping her brand conversation-worthy and commercially relevant. Word from business insiders is that the preserved lemon teas, the wine placement, even the questionable technique, might all be deliberately designed to create talking points that extend the content's lifespan beyond just cooking enthusiasts. Controversy travels further than competence in social media algorithms. But these behind-the-scenes strategy revelations were just setting up the final act. Because when Gordon allegedly delivered his ultimate verdict on what this all means for Meghan's future, that's when the real predictions began. Here's Gordon Ramsay's alleged final verdict on Meghan Markle's cooking catastrophe, and it's not pretty. Sources say after analyzing every aspect of her kitchen disaster, Gordon delivered a prediction that could make or break her entire lifestyle brand ambitions. Word is, Gordon believes Meghan's cooking content represents a fundamental misunderstanding of what audiences actually want from celebrity lifestyle brands. People crave authenticity, expertise, and genuine value. But Meghan's delivering amateur technique wrapped in expensive packaging, allegedly creating a disconnect that could ultimately doom her commercial ventures. Industry insiders claim Gordon was explaining how successful lifestyle brands are built on credibility earned through demonstrated competence. When that foundation doesn't exist, when the emperor has no clothes, audiences eventually notice. And once trust is broken, sources suggest Gordon was saying it's nearly impossible to rebuild. The preservation of lemons might become a metaphor for Meghan's entire brand strategy, allegedly trying to take something authentic and traditional, repackaging it for commercial purposes without understanding the underlying craft or respecting the cultural significance. Gordon reportedly sees this approach as unsustainable long-term. Sources say Gordon's ultimate prediction is that Meghan's lifestyle venture will struggle because it's built on image rather than substance. Celebrity status can launch products, but it can't sustain them without genuine quality and expertise backing up the marketing promises. But here's the real kicker. Word is, Gordon thinks the cooking controversy might actually accelerate Meghan's brand problems rather than help them. When professional criticism exposes the gap between perception and reality, audiences start questioning everything else the brand represents. So there you have it. Gordon Ramsay's brutal takedown of Meghan Markle's kitchen catastrophe has allegedly revealed deeper questions about authenticity, expertise, and the future of celebrity lifestyle brands. What do you think? Is Gordon right about Meghan's cooking skills? Or is this all just professional jealousy? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe, because the next video is waiting. And trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.